$40 billion per year Australia is paying to an overseas corporation for wind turbines. How are we paying it? Simple. Through our taxes plus your electricity bill. So a portion of your electricity bill goes towards paying $40 billion per year. And the other kicker is it doesn't work. Not only doesn't it work, but it's not environmentally friendly. And you actually need a cold process to get it going because it's a turbine, it's not a windmill. Furthermore, farmers, well, they're only making chump change. They are literally getting paid $12,000 per year to have those things on their property. Now, if the neighbours get burnt down, they are legally responsible. So not only in the blueprint do they get peanuts, but they are responsible for any damage to the neighbour's property. So can you imagine what the insurance is like on their property? Hopefully they thought about that. While farmers are being paid peanuts, you then have the middleman. The middleman is the person who actually goes out and builds the wind turbines on site. So build it from the bottom, the ground up. And they make about $600,000 to $900,000 per turbine. So if there's 10, imagine how much money that company has just made. But that's still peanuts, because the people who actually own the actual turbine company, they're actually making $40 billion per year from the Australian taxpayer. I have to laugh because we are the dumb ones that keep electing these people into politics. It's the Liberal and the Labor Party and the Greens who are not about the environment. Can I just reinforce that to all the young kids out there? They are not about the environment. Because $40 billion, can you imagine what this country would look like? Our prices in electricity, our waterways would be cleaner, our farmers would actually have support in putting food on our table, clean, organic food. Can you imagine what that would look like?
Make it make sense to me as to how this is environmentally friendly. This is a photo of the steel reinforcement used in the base of a wind turbine. And to complete the base of this wind turbine, there still needs to be between 600 and 800 cubic metres of concrete added. That's nearly a weight of 2,000 tonnes. Once the wind turbine is dismantled, because they don't last very long, this is permanently just buried in the ground forever. How can the Labor Party and other parties such as the Greens Party be telling us how environmentally wonderful these renewable projects are?
I was policy advisor for a Liberal Party senator.
Okay. And you were saying about you working with the windmills?
Yeah, so the area that I was working in was renewable energy. And basically, it was my job to uncover a lot of the stuff that was going on with the Renewable Energy Act, which was put in 2002 under the Howard government. So that was the Liberal Party put the act in place, and I was looking at the mess that it had created. And what a lot of people don't understand is that the Renewable Energy Act creates a subsidy environment where if you build wind turbines, you're paid between $600,000 and $900,000 per turbine per year as a subsidy alone.
Well, if it's on your property.
No. So what happens is the wind company comes in and leases, they pay a lease to the farmer to build the wind turbines, and that in effect makes sure that the farmer is still liable for the turbine.
Okay.
And they pay a lease of $12,000 a year usually, and the company gets paid between $600,000 and $900,000 per turbine per year.
So they pay $12,000 to the farmer, but they get $600,000
Exactly.
per turbine.
Yeah.
Which is a big incentive to put in turbines.
Yeah, and the landowner takes the liability for the turbine.
So he gets $12,000 a year, but if anything happens to it, he's got to fix it, or she's got to fix it.
Yeah, when they catch on fire, they're responsible for their neighbours' properties going up in smoke.
Wow.
And effectively that money, the subsidy that's getting paid to the wind farms, is reaming $40 billion a year out of the Australian economy. And it's paid by everyone, every pensioner, householder, schools, hospitals, everyone. It's not just out of your tax, it comes out of your power bill.
Is this why power bills are going up?
Yeah. That's why
Power bills are going up to pay for wind turbines that don't work.
Exactly.
And Why don't they work?
So they don't work because, for a start, they draw power off the grid, so they have to have coal-fired power in order to turn. They're not windmills, they're turbines. And essentially...
Sorry, what do you mean? The power to turn. So when we see them turning, that's not the wind, that's the power generator turning.
Essentially, they have to draw power off the grid, so they have to draw coal-fired power off the grid in order to turn. And what happens when the wind picks up, they do actually start to create electricity of their own, but that electricity is so intermittent and unreliable, when it gets back to the grid, it has to be balanced on the grid, which you can't do. And like with your coal-fired power station, you can't ramp your coal-fired power stations up and down. So the coal-fired power station stays at the same level because it takes 24 to 48 hours for them to get up to heat anyway, and they just let off steam as the wind comes onto the grid. So there's absolutely nothing about them that works apart from reaming that amount of money out of the Australian economy, and it's going offshore.
That money's going offshore.